bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Spider-Man Reign.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined by the J. Jonah Jameson to my Peter Parker.
Get that Spider-Man.
Mr. Mike. Mike, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, man.
And first of all, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, first of all. But
Yes.
a little explanation of what you can expect is each and every week on our show here, I will bring forward either a comic book character or a comic book storyline, one that Mike has no knowledge of before we start recording this.
Zero knowledge.
And then I will go ahead and break it all down, and we will make fun of it, talk about the good things of it, talk about the ridiculousness of it, but more importantly, have fun.
And we've talked about a couple of like serious storylines, but for the most part, it's been the ridiculous.
It has been, and those are fun.
And by the way, I want to say, and I can't remember his name right now for some reason. Any other time I would, but the guy who plays J. Jonah Jameson now.
J.K. Simmons?
Yes. I don't think you could do any better.
No.
You just couldn't do it.
He's perfect for it.
Yeah, he really is.
But the beauty of some are, and we've done, I'd say a couple of these, of serious stories that all have a lot of ridiculousness in them.
Yes.
So it's a mix of both. And that is what we are getting today.
I'm assuming this is a Spider-Man type story.
It is Spider-Man Reign.
Okay.
Now, not, hey, R-A-I-N. I was outside and got rained on. R-E-I-G-N. Rain.
Rain. Okay.
And we'll explain what that has to do with everything.
King Spider-Man.
Before I get into it, first, obviously, give credit where credit is due, because Kari Andrews was the writer, penciler, inker, and colorist, at least for book one. But he did a majority of this story.
Wow.
And it's one of those where the best way to put it is, what Batman do most people love, at least story-wise and everything else? Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns.
Yes, absolutely.
So, what Spider-Man Reign is Old Man Spider-Man.
Ah, fantastic. All right.
Essentially.
Well, and before we go any further, I mean, they have done this well in other places.
They have.
You know, I think of Logan.
Yes.
And then I think of, the Dark Knight.
Yes.
Returns.
There's another one that I'm saving for later.
Yeah.
That's along this, because the Dark Knight has inspired, or the Dark Knight Returns, I should say, Frank Miller's 85, 86 story, has influenced a lot of people.
You should rephrase that. The success of Dark Knight Returns has influenced a lot of.
That has, but it has led others then to trying the same formula.
Oh, almost got it. That's $1.
Yeah.
Almost got it.
There's another one that we will get to from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's called Superman at Earth's End?
At Earth's End.
I think that's the name of it.
At Ends Earth.
But it is ridiculous.
Okay.
I'll tease it. I can at least tell you who the main villains are at the end, and then I'll save everything for later. He fights two twins of Adolf Hitler.
Very nice.
So we'll save that one for another time.
The twins of Hitler.
But you can kind of see where these go.
They're lovely this time of year.
They love to take an old superhero and then make it a very,
dark and brooding.
As dark, as brooding, as grimy as we can make it, because it's got to be real. That's what the kids like.
The kids love the realness. That's right. You've seen the MTV Cribs. They love the realness.
Yeah, the realness and all the dark. They have no lights on through their houses because they love the dark. That show was. Whose idea was it that, hey, let's just show off your house?
We have a client here that brags about being on MTV Cribs.
I just didn't get the idea of MTV Cribs when, it's basically just, hey, show the whole world just how much better off than them
you gotta hand it to them, though. They basically created HGTV.
Oh, they did.
MTV created HGTV.
In a way, HGTV took it and was like, well, why don't we show them how they got that in there?
How they got the house. Can they buy a better house?
Yeah.
What about houses over in Europe?
Well, what if they buy a house and then the backyard's not good, but the rest of the house is? What if there were two brothers that were able to find property?
What if
and
they
fix
buy
it
a
up?
house and they need a big fish tank? What if,
There's a lot of HGTV on in the background at our house from time to time.
yeah,
It's not.
I came home yesterday and my wife was in the middle of a hometown marathon. That's the
couple from Mississippi.
That's
is
the
that them?
discount Chip and Joanna.
Yeah.
Which I like them a lot better.
I do too.
I like them a lot better.
No. And that's the thing. I'm not knocking HGTV. It's just
I
not
am.
my
No, I'm
jam.
not.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, that's totally fine. It's not my jam, but there's just a lot of shows that are similar.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you don't know what show you're watching.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're like, oh, they're going to find it. Oh, no, it's those guys.
I have felt like I've started watching a show with somebody, gone and done some errands, came back, thought we were watching the
That's
same
right. It's
show
a wholly different show.
until
That's
there's
right.
two
Sure.
different hosts that pop
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Where'd
did
the
they
brothers go?
Did they switch hosts halfway through this?
Oh, it's this British lady and this picky guy now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, now she wants him to buy, but he
wants
wants
to
him to
flip.
sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So there you go. HGTV. You know what? I'm gonna save this.
This is what you tune in for, kids.
Before we get into Spider-Man Reign, let me just go ahead and make another
Yeah.
point that I came
Please
across,
do.
and I think that you'll at least appreciate this, Mike. I feel as a fellow video game fan in your youth for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Many moons ago. Sure.
I was thinking yesterday, and I don't know why. I was looking through like old video games I had. And I came across a Game Boy game called.
And by the way, there's nothing better than those old video game ads.
Oh,
If you want to tie it back to comic books, there it is.
we'll
Yeah.
get back to that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll talk about the Power Glove or
Sure,
something, and then I'll
sure,
get it back.
yeah.
But I came across a Game Boy cartridge that was for Bill Elliott's Fastlane,
Okay.
and it made me think though. Remember how athletes would come out with their
Oh,
own
yeah.
video games all the time?
Yeah.
So I remember like there was
Joe
Troy
Montana
Aikman,
football.
Joe Montana
It was
football.
the first one that spoke.
That is true.
That's right.
Pro Joe Montana Pro Sports
You'd hear
football.
it. You'd hear it coming from the cartridge. It'd be like, "Go for it," or something. Oh man, that was Joe Montana telling me to go for it.
But Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. I know Griffey had baseball on the Super Nintendo.
The Ken Griffey baseball was a big deal.
it was so good.
So I worked with a guy, one of my buddies. He lives a different part of Texas now, but we worked at this place, mind-numbing place. We were we were like the monkey in the middle for insurance and doctors, right?
Okay.
And so imagine the hijinks. But anyway, we got the Ken Griffey Jr. game on the Game Boy, and we both lived close enough to go home when we had to poop instead of doing it at work.
So that's what.
And so we'd say, "I got to go play some Griffey or something. Cover for me." Yeah.
nice.
So there you go.
There you go.
It didn't really have the payoff I wanted it to, but that's what.
No,
happened.
that's fine. I mean,
Sure.
I welcome more of your bowel movement stories in the future if we could have them. I don't know if we want to do it as a weekly
Hey,
thing.
it
but
is
maybe-
pretty sweet though to live so close to
That
work
is
that you can
true.
go home and poop.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
a luxury that not everybody has.
That's true.
But what I was thinking about it because the player who obviously the game was about was always the best player in the game.
Sure. Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
because they pitched it to him like, hey, we'll, create a video game. It'll be your video game. You'll be the best player on it.
You've been defeated by Sammy Sosa.
Yeah. But then I just wonder, like, why would you think if that person wasn't like that? What
Yeah.
if they went to Troy Aikman? They're like, all right, Troy, we got this Troy Aikman football. You're going to be the best quarterback on there. He's like, I think it'd be better if I were like third or fourth. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll just create some,
Yeah.
generic guys there. But how would you feel about that player? Hey, Troy Aikman football came out and he's the third best
Troy Aikman football camp.
out of fake players.
Yeah, that'd be even worse if it's a made up player.
Yeah, but because they were usually the only real players in them too.
Yeah,
Everybody else
that's
was
true
made
too.
up.
Yeah.
But oh no, those were a blast. Kind of like the ads for Nintendo Power Gloves, where
There we go.
I told you I'd get back
There it
there
is.
somehow. So Spider-Man Reign
Yeah.
is basically the Dark Knight Returns of Spider-Man.
Okay.
Now it takes place in an alternate Earth.
Uh-huh.
I guess they did it just so it feels more as like a what if story.
Or maybe it's just lazy.
Yeah, that
Sure.
too. It's like Earth 70,027.
Right.
Whatever Earth number it is.
F.
Basically, what we are is we're in a world that we
In a
know is
world.
30 years in the future of the last time we saw Spider-Man.
Okay. Spider-Man left under questionable circumstances, or do
He
we
just I think we figure out why. It's not said.
He just like deuces, bye.
But just a lot of things. I don't, kind of like Batman. He got, maybe the city doesn't need me.
Right.
All of this.
Just get fed up after a while.
Yeah.
You don't get your just desserts.
Exactly.
Sure.
So we see kids like spraying graffiti, and it's a question. It's where have you gone? Question mark.
Yeah.
So they want to do the symbolism of that too.
Sure.
It's been 30 years though, and these kids have no idea who he is. So I don't know if they know.
Yeah,
who
I don't
they're
know
asking.
how they did that. Yeah.
But we're introduced to basically like a set of government police that is called RAIN.
Okay.
The police. That's where it comes from. It's the police task force in a way. The mayor of New York has RAIN that goes out on the streets and watches everybody and patrols over everybody. So he has like a New York State Police that's constantly on the ground.
Yeah, we're screwed if we get something called RAIN looking after us.
Oh yeah, no, for
Just
sure.
saying.
And nobody caught on to that, I guess, at the time. But so
no, RAIN. Got it.
And they're building this whole. The mayor is building towards this whole project called the Web with 2 B's. And what it is, it's an integral laser system that forms like a web kind of dome over all of New York City. And it keeps everything in and everything out.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So
who needs atmosphere?
That's the world we're in right now. It's, ran by government police.
Sure.
Peter Parker now works as a florist because he's not necessarily even a florist. He works at a florist.
Okay.
He's not one. He works
a rose
the front.
specialist.
Yeah. And somehow like he's talking to a couple that comes in and he's like, hey, everybody makes mistakes, all
Even
this
flowers.
and that. And the guy's like, yeah, well, we asked for white and we got cream. So you're
boy, we have all been there.
Exactly. Your return policy, whatever, we get to cash it all back. We don't have to pay for it. Thanks, bud. And he leaves. Basically, Peter Parker gets fired from being a florist because he's messed up again.
Let me ask you, Zach, have you ever returned flowers?
No.
I haven't either.
But the stories that I've heard from somebody who has worked at like one of the Walmart return centers.
Oh.
The things that people will return.
That's a whole different thing. Yeah. Like used underwear.
It wouldn't shock me. Let's go like used like travel toilets.
Oh, wonderful.
Used lawnmowers.
Travel toilets.
Yeah, like the things that would fold and you set a plastic thing on, you set the bag and you deuce in the bag.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
We're weird.
That should be that you should be able to shoot somebody if they walk at you with that thing.
Well, no.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, it wasn't what I wanted.
No. Yeah,
I just have to assume you tried it out though.
You weren't what I wanted either.
Yeah, I didn't want to take back your portable toilet.
Portable toilet.
So
Jeez.
Peter gets fired.
Yeah.
He goes home and
Bad florist.
And he's eating and it's like he's talking to Mary Jane at the end of the table.
Mm-hmm.
She never says anything back.
She's not there.
And then looks up, like you see her drawn in there and you look up and she's gone.
Right, sure.
Through all of this, we find out that the mayor is being pushed kind of by his left-hand man, a guy named Eddie Sags, I believe is Eddie's last name, who's kind of like his advisor, who's like, hey, we need to make sure this goes off without a hitch. While
in steps Hitch, the ominous villain Hitch.
Peter's in bed sleeping.
Yeah.
And he hears a knock at the door.
Okay.
He goes, he answers the door, and it's a very old, wrinkly man with an Adolf Hitler mustache. So that means one thing: it's J. Jonah Jameson.
Right.
So that terrible little,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who basically tells him is like, it's time. Like you gotta, you gotta help people, and he doesn't want to say anything to him. And he goes, just at least take the package, Peter. And he turns around and he leaves.
Okay.
Peter opens the package, and it's one of his cameras from the Daily Bugle.
Ah.
But wrapped around the strap is the Spider-Man mask.
Oh.
So J. Jonah Jameson knows now.
Sure.
And he's kind of like, I can't believe you let me just, spew all this hate all this time.
Yeah.
We kind of need you more now than ever.
Huh.
So J. Jonah Jameson is kind of like pushing towards Spider-Man to do something.
Right. Come back, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Come
J.
back.
Jonah Jameson, when he's outside, he picks a fight with these RAIN police.
Come back.
Because he's just an old crotchety man, but he's also trying to show the youth what rain is.
Okay.
I say that because in the next issue, we won't get to it right off, but there's a part where one of the girls, one of the main like little, I'd say 13-year-old girls that you follow is kind of like a side story.
They're not that small, Zach.
Well,
They're
okay.
13.
That's true. Some 13-year-olds are taller than me.
That's a very small 13-year-old.
Yeah. So my bad. But I was just trying to insinuate she was a child.
Sure,
yeah, teenager child.
Sure.
Is kind of told, hey, go see this guy. He's trying to help us.
Right.
And she follows to this church where J. Jonah Jameson is speaking to like all of the street youths, for lack of a better, just about, hey,
he's got his chair turned around backwards.
He's
hat on backwards.
He's up at the pulpit and he's spitting just some like
he's talking
fire
to the
and
kids
brimstone,
about drugs.
just like, it's coming, hell's coming, like, he can save us.
All right.
You don't know what we're dealing with here. Like, he's just preaching to all the kids, like, what's going on right now is terrible.
Spider-Man is our savior,
and
kind of thing.
In a sense, but it's like, just pay attention to what rain is and how evil it is and how this going forward.
Okay.
We found out that to not interfere with the giant web, like all church bells and stuff have been taken down, all metal crosses at the top because they don't want it to mess with the electricity from the web to have to do.
Sure. All of this makes sense.
It's hard to I know, I'm telling you, it's out there. But when J. Jonah Jameson leaves Peter Parker's house, he kind of gets into a fight with the Rain villains. Spider-Man goes and saves him. It's kind of like, oh, Spider-Man's back. So now Rain is trying to hunt down Spider-Man because they haven't had any costumed heroes to deal with in years.
Sure.
Very much like Dark Knight Returns.
They locked them all out.
What we find out through, because I'm not going to sit here and give you every single detail because it's kind of, we could be here forever.
Sure.
What happens is the group that J. Jonah Jameson's running with the kids hijack the feed into the city of the news. The Daily Bugle is no longer a newspaper. They're just a news TV channel.
Right. Kind of like it is now in the Spider-Man movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This was written, I guess I should say, back in 2006, 2007.
Okay.
So I forgot where I was going. Oh, so they interrupt the transmission of the Daily Bugle, and it's the only thing you can see on TV, and it's basically J. Jonah Jameson. That's going to be tired to say it. It's Jameson.
Sure.
Just spouting everything that he's telling the kids out to everybody else.
Right.
And he has enlisted the help of the Hypno Hustler, which was apparently a D-list villain back in the day.
Hypno Hustler.
But he goes to show up to kind of like, he's like, this is my chance for people to see. And he starts
sounds like a very
hypnotizing the Rain agents, but he's old school using his boombox.
I was going to say, it sounds like a late 70s, early 80s
it is.
type thing.
His batteries die. It snaps the Rain guys out of their hypnosis, and they just shoot him dead.
Okay.
But it's in front of all the kids and everything, like Jameson had planned. Like
all over some D-cell batteries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's trying to show them. We also find out then that since Spider-Man has returned,
I guess they learned that day though, right?
Right? That we've learned that
these guys are rough.
Eddie Sachs,
Keep your shit
the
charged.
mayor's, second command, has basically brought back the Sinister Six together, but now they're called the Sinner Six, and they treat them like Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Because it's like, these are just sinners that have come to make up to you and make amends.
Yeah.
We've planted all of them with explosives in case they try to, do away.
This is DC's go-to here, isn't it?
Well, I mean, this is Marvel, though.
Oh, this is sorry.
Yeah. But Marvel has stolen everything from DC.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and the whole deal is if they help, capture Spider-Man, they'll be let go outside the web to do whatever they want to.
Okay.
Through all of this, we finally come to realize that, the Sinister Six is getting close to capturing Peter. Craven is about to kill Spider-Man because they reference Craven's hunt. Craven's last hunt.
He's on this
He's
team.
part of the Six, yeah.
Gotcha.
Where he does kill Spider-Man, which is a story back from the 80s, and about how, he never got the chance to see who he was, so he just rips his mask off first to show old man Peter Parker to everybody that's watching this go down on the streets, because with the signal taking over, everybody's paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
They're just like so taken back by how this one guy that's causing so much problems is just so old. Like, it's just one old guy and they're beating up on him like this.
Do you think we'll see a Craven in the movies?
Eventually.
Yeah.
He could be, Craven to me is a fantastic character in the comics if you pick the right story, but I could see how they would ruin it because it's Sony. Kind of the same reason I don't care at all about Morbius.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like after watching the second Venom, like, do you want a Craven movie made by Sony?
No,
I don't know if I do.
No. What I was talking about more was in the Marvel universe, but
oh, maybe.
I just don't know how you put a big furry coat on somebody and make them.
I mean, I'm sure there's a way that you can make it look like
maybe,
but
maybe.
While the Sinister Six is about to take Spider-Man back to, this is where we're about to get crazy.
Okay.
Back to the mayor so they can deal with him.
Sure.
He is kidnapped by Doc Ock.
Okay.
Basically stolen away from these guys and taken away. When I started reading it, I thought he was part of the Sinister Six.
Sure.
He's not. He takes him far enough away, basically to a graveyard, and throws Peter down in front of tombstones where you now see Uncle Ben's, May's, Mary Jane. And this is where it's telling you, like, Peter in his head is seeing Mary Jane, but she's not alive.
Right. Sure. This is just filling in that blank for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is strange about this part of it, because obviously I don't know what it took for to make the rest of the story. I thought this is a standalone story on this separate place. So there could be something I'm missing, but basically Doc Ock is like a zombie. He's like a dead body controlling these arms and stuff. And he says that he sent his 4 sons to go find Peter after he died to bring him back to life.
Dear God.
And he gave up his body so that Peter could, so that Spider-Man could live, kind of thing. So that's why he has like an old decrepit, he's a zombie because he's not really alive. Some of it did not make sense.
Yeah, that's a lot of craziness.
Part of it. This is the best part of it though, Mike. I say that facetiously.
Hey, and we'll get to that best part right after this commercial break. Hey, Zach, you were telling me the craziest part. What's up?
First, let's talk about HelloFresh. HelloFresh, if you ever find yourself being stolen by a zombie-like Dr. Ock, HelloFresh will help you hopefully be able to come back from all that trauma that it has instilled upon you with some just great at-home meals that you can make.
Nothing like a Branzino to bring you right back. That's right.
So, but here's what we find out what happens to Mary Jane.
Yeah.
And they want it to be adult, obviously. Like I saw one of the covers. I can only imagine it was printed somewhere else besides here, but it had like an adult only sticker on it for this, which is weird because there's no cursing whatsoever. Yeah. They still use all the little wingdings to.
Right.
So Mary Jane died of cancer.
Okay.
The doctor couldn't explain just how rapidly it had taken over her body.
All right. And
how she was just so like succumbed to it so quickly and stuff because of the amount there, but nothing causing it. It was just like she was getting cancer from radioactive material.
Okay.
Let's not forget Peter Parker was bit by a radioactive spider.
Right. Sure.
That gave him radioactive powers.
Yeah.
Peter was basically passing the radioactivity to Mary Jane.
Come on.
Through body fluids.
Come on.
Peter Parker's hold your kids' ears, like earmuff them for this part, but
warning.
Peter Parker's jizz killed Mary Jane.
Oh my God, come on.
Excuse me. Radioactive. I should add that in there to make sure you know. Yes, basically because he was bitten by a radioactive spider. It contaminated all of him. And so he passed his radioactive body fluids to Mary Jane.
I think that's the worst that we've ever talked about. I mean, because when you start thinking about it, it just gets deeper and you're just like, oh, come on. That's the most base story you could possibly come up with.
Right? Like that's not... Basically, if they, if Peter was born in the Bible Belt instead of up in New York where he found out that abstinence was the only form of safe sex.
Sure.
Well, I guess never mind. They would have got married. But still, maybe she would have lived longer. I don't know.
Yikes.
Yeah, that is how Mary Jane dies.
Okay, so Spider-Man webbed her to death.
Yes.
All right.
And We then find out now that
Jameson.
thank you, has been taken in by the authorities because they were out looking for him because he's spreading this, Spider-Man hope.
Right.
Well, he gets there.
Well, and he did bust into the feed too.
That is true.
Yeah.
So he's back at the mayor's office, and he goes and he has a knife on him, and he slices.
He's got a knife on the mayor?
Yeah, no, he ended up he has it hidden when they bring him in.
Oh, okay.
And he gets close enough, and he slices the mayor's neck. Doesn't kill him, but it's pretty nasty.
Sure.
And he goes to stab right into the chest or gut kind of Eddie Saggs, the next in command for the mayor.
Right.
And his hand just goes all the way through.
Oh.
And he pulls back out, and it's black because Eddie is actually Venom.
Ah, there you go.
And if you'll think about it, the reason that he was oh no, all the bells off the top of the churches and stuff, because remember, he's not a fan of sound that.
That's true.
So now he doesn't have to deal with it. But the little kids now, Jameson's tiny child army has seen how evil Rain is.
Yeah.
They go back to the church.
Nothing like those child soldiers.
And Jameson has told them, because once the mayor goes ahead and calls Webb the lasers to go ahead and go off because we got to stay on schedule.
Okay.
So nobody can get in or out now of there.
Right.
Once the web has gone down, Venom starts basically sending out other little symbiotes that are taking over and eating people.
Okay.
He did that so basically he was bored and he has a food source now. But Jameson has told the kids that if they hit the bells, it'll scare them away, so they know about that. Through all this, the mayor sends Sandman to go take care of Peter Parker.
Jeez.
Dude, I'm telling you.
More bad guys, please.
4 issues.
Eesh.
All these people in 4 issues. Tell Sandman to go take care of the kids that with the bell.
Yeah.
They show up. Sandman realizes it's another random one. It's his daughter leading the little kid army. So he saves them and then basically gives Spider-Man the detonator, telling him that all of the Sinister Six have bombs in them, and they're all in the same tower with Venom. He basically gets them all in the same tower.
How does he get the detonator?
Sandman gives it to him.
I'm saying, but how does Sandman have it?
Towards the final issue, I was just trying to get.
Yeah.
He had access to it. It's in the tower there.
Somebody dropped it in some sand.
Basically, big fight with Venom, but Spider-Man ends up blowing up all the Sinister Six.
Okay.
Including Venom.
Okay.
So essentially winning. And it ends where Spider-Man's back to fighting crime.
Okay.
70-year-old Peter Parker.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah. So, in 4 issues,
yeah,
the things to highlight the biggest in all this, Peter Parker killed Mary Jane. He webbed her to death.
Splooch.
There's a zombie Doc Ock.
Yeah. But this is not explained.
Not explained.
Sure.
Well, his sons went to rescue Peter from being dead. They went down to hell and basically had to trade a body for it. It's really convoluted into just exactly.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's more to it. Maybe there's another storyline I didn't read, not associated with this. But
has this guy ever written and produced anything else?
Yeah.
Has he? They let him do something after this.
Yeah, he's done a lot. I mean, he looks like a nice guy.
Oh, I didn't say he wasn't a nice guy. Nice guys can have bad ideas too.
Let me see. I'm looking up his.
But once you've come up with the idea, well, I guess people have to approve it though. You've come up with the idea that Peter Parker's killed Mary Jane in that way, and then you probably got a room full of writers that go, okay, let's go with that.
Yeah. He wrote multiple Spider-Man stories.
Wrote multiple jism-related superhero comics.
That's all they are. X-Men Unlimited Volume 1. You might remember that in that one, Cyclops had the...
Just shoot right through them.
Yeah, then there was Iron Fist, where...
don't it? Don't have to go down that road.
No, he did a lot.
It's
but
already there, right in the name.
That one is kind of known for just how ridiculous it is with Mary Jane, and that being the way that she passed away. But I mean, it's not terrible. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay,
go ahead.
Let me ask this question.
Okay,
right? If you go to the doctor,
Yeah.
you're feeling bad.
Yeah.
I'm assuming hair's starting to come out in clumps, things like
Probably.
that, right?
Yeah.
Doctors are going to run a litany of tests.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're not going to test like down there. I mean, because I'm thinking there had to be an epicenter, right? I mean, it's
You would think that there'd be one place more than
Right.
the others that would.
right.
I don't know. The only beauty to all of this is we don't see the Spider-Man again until there was another series later just called Spider-Verse because everybody loves all that, where somebody named Deimos, don't know who that is, but basically he shows up in this world and he kills the Spider-Man from that world
Okay.
with Mary Jane's headstone. So
Okay. Well,
old
that's even
Spider,
better.
we don't have to worry about old Spider-Man. He's
Yeah.
already dead
Jeez.
because they obviously didn't know what to do.
Why
But
do they always want to kill their superheroes? DC and Marvel both.
they don't know what to do.
They want to kill them though for some reason. Let's replace them with new people. Okay. Well, why can't you? Why
Well,
can't
I
it just
get-
be the Simpsons and nobody ever grows up?
I get that, and I'm fine with that. And I kind of understand, though, at the same time, like, if you wanted it to be realistic, of course, Bruce is going to get older and somebody else will replace it. But,
But it's not realistic. That's the thing.
yeah,
Nobody has to age in these things.
no.
You've made a conscious choice that these people are going to be like real people.
Yeah, no, you're
And
right.
you're drawing a comic book. I mean, I'm not saying that comic books are not like we had an art show this
Yeah.
last weekend with these comic book producers here in town, and it was fantastic. They got all these people to show. I bet they had 300 people there, right? It was great. But it's not like Tolstoy.
No.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. It's popular. It's pop comics, right?
Mhm.
They don't have to be realistic.
No, you're right. They don't, because
In-
they're fantastical stories to begin with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In one hand, you're like, oh yeah, they get old, and finally we have to replace them with somebody else. In the other hand, this robot comes from space with all these What? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You're having it both ways.
yeah. And I guess that if you want to do it more realistic, you have to treat the rest of it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't know. I'm with you. It's hard to be like, okay, I can let, this storyline happens in the same place as this one.
Yeah.
When one of them's like, this is a superhero team full of animals.
Right.
Or the Joker cut off his face and then has stapled the skin back on. And that's perfectly normal. I mean, so we let just weird and crazy stuff happen. So it is weird that they'll try to. But I mean, yeah.
So I looked up radioactive semen.
Oh, is it a thing?
Yeah, that's in my search history now.
Better years than mine.
The first thing that comes up is Spider-Man Rain. Yep. And it says, does Spider-Man have radioactive sperm? Many years into the future, Peter Parker is now an old man who has retired from being Spider-Man and now works in a flower shop. Mary Jane Watson has died from exposure to radioactivity due to Peter's radioactive sperm.
Yep, there you go. So technically, you should not want to date Peter Parker.
No.
Either
No, you
he'll
shouldn't.
end up like Gwen Stacy, where he won't be able to save you in time and accidentally break your neck, or you'll end up like Mary Jane, where he will just slowly kill you over time with his semen.
There's just a picture of a guy that says radioactive semen maggot is the exact description for the man pictured here. I don't know who that guy is, but man, he's got it rough.
Dude,
That's rough.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
went-
ridiculous,
I went crazy and
stupid
ridiculous
story.
instead this week.
Yeah. Well, now that's in my head.
Yeah. No, I
So,
wanted to do that.
I
So
got
you can't
that
forget
going
about
for
it.
me.
I got my tickets to see Batman already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is when? Next week?
So no, Batman comes out on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
Tickets went on sale on the 10th, but I found something through DC Fan First,
Oh.
and I got IMAX tickets to see it on the 1st.
Ooh.
So I get to see it 3 days
Aren't
early.
you spatial?
I am.
That's great.
So
Are you still excited? Yeah.
Yeah, no, over the moon.
Hmm.
Which everything I keep reading is there have been 3 test screenings.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them people loved. All about the 2 hour and 50-minute mark.
The problem is one person dies in every showing.
And they
You don't know who
which
it's gonna
one.
be. Yeah.
That's
Wasn't a great joke.
No, but I got it though. The only negative thing that's come from it is just one person was like, "Oh, I thought the third act was going to have a bigger finale to it." But I mean, let's not forget that the Dark Knight, which seems to be a lot of people's favorite, doesn't end with a Batman Joker fight.
That's right.
It doesn't have a big So I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. I'm excited. I hope that it's good.
I am too. Pattinson's on board now to do more.
Yeah. Well, you got to assume that this is one of at least 3. You know,
that's what he said. He
does
said
seem like a trilogy.
He said he's down to do a trilogy with Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it is. Everything I read.
Tell me what Matt Reeves has directed.
Planet of the Apes.
Wasn't it? Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that. Yeah. Huh.
Well, I'm ready to give him a shot at it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
And if not, then
what else is coming?
Uncharted comes out next week. Or I guess this will be Monday, so this weekend.
With Spider-Man and Wahlberger in it?
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
No, come on.
And that I mean,
what video game movies are?
They never are, but these were so good because I thought you could have at least had, if you put, I'm not saying you had to put a lot of, work into it, but if you did it well enough, you could have another Indiana Jones-esque.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I understand that. I just, they lean too hard on these video games, man.
You know what I heard earlier?
Even Resident Evil is not.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
Come on.
Did you watch the new one?
No, I'm not watching that.
It looks like it's supposed to be more like the
video game. They're all supposed to be good.
No, I didn't say good. I just said more like the video game. I don't know if that translates to it being good or not. But there was rumors that Dwayne Johnson's been talking about that he's working on a new video game movie that he's going to announce later. And the rumor is it's a Call of Duty movie.
Okay.
Here's what I don't get. Is none of the Call of Duty games, to my knowledge, have like actual characters?
No, they don't.
A story.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just a war movie.
It's just a war movie, yeah.
So
is it going to be VOD? I mean, or
I don't know.
Or what do you call it? What do you call the perspective? Like where
POV.
POV. There we go.
Yeah.
Not VOD. POV.
No, VOD.
It'll be VOD, but POV.
Yeah. Sometimes in the adult world, POV is VOD.
That's true. That's true.
There you go. This has been an adult-themed episode.
Yeah. But what other what's the next comic book movie?
I'm trying to think. DC has a couple. They have Black Adam.
And do you know what the next James Gunn thing is?
I have Guardians 3.
Well, I get that, but he's working on another TV show.
No, I don't know what the other one is.
You haven't heard anything yet.
I know that we're about to get a Penguin HBO Max series.
Oh, yeah.
With Colin Farrell playing.
What's his face? Yeah.
I know we got Black Adam. We get The Flash later this year.
What did I see the other day? There was something.
DC came out with a new ad. That's what I'm trying to think. And there was like 3 or 4 movies. It was Batman, Black Adam, because they finally showed us the first look at the Justice Society of America. So you see Hawkman and Dr. Fate. And
we get Justice Society in this?
In Black Adam, yeah.
Ooh.
Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate.
So we're very close to getting Gleek.
In a way, yes. I didn't see him. Maybe he shows up in that Super Pets movie.
Yeah,
that'd be the perfect place.
If nobody knows who Gleek is, he is the Wonder Twins monkey.
He's purple, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Everything's purple about them.
That's true. And the I can't remember their names, but the guy out of the twins could only turn into forms of water. It seemed
right. Everything was. She was only animals, right?
Yeah, and he was only forms of water. It's like, oh, I'm a sheet of ice. I'm a bucket of water.
Yeah, Wonder Twins activate. It was Zan and Jaina.
Oh.
Zan and Jaina. I wouldn't have come up with that.
I thought she was going to have a Z name too.
Yeah. No. That is weird, right?
Yeah.
Zan, Z-A-N, and Jaina, J-A-Y-N-A.
I thought it'd be like Zane or Zan and Zana.
Any form of water and into any animal. Yeah, that's useful.
That's really good.
And then Gleek was their crazy little...
oh, no, he was blue. He wasn't purple. He was blue.
He is blue. You're right.
Sorry.
He was their crazy little almost super-powered monkey.
Couldn't he fly or something?
Yeah, I think, maybe.
I don't remember. It's all
I just never understood...
Justice Friends, or right? The Super Friends.
Super Friends, yeah. But that was the Justice Society of America, though, was in that.
I just remember, at the Hall of Justice.
At the Hall of Justice.
And then that's at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, Legion of Doom was always my favorite because it was in a swamp.
It was, and that little cool thing with the yellow just floating over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they never were successful, but they had the coolest looking hideout.
Yeah, I want them to do that live action.
Well, you know they're bringing back the old early '90s X-Men cartoon, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're
I saw
redoing that. So
yeah,
maybe,
and they're doing it like it's still the '90s, which is kind of cool.
I love that.
Yeah,
Maybe they need to bring back Super Friends.
I would love to see. Again, I just want to see an over-the-top, goofy Super Friends movie with a Legion of Doom. I think that would be fantastic. Just everybody in the cartoony outfits and the whole thing. I also would like to see a Plastic Man movie.
Really?
Yeah, Plastic Man, because if you get to Plastic Man, eventually you get to Dino Mutt.
And you just want... Well, Dino Mutt was in... I know this doesn't really count, but the Scooby-Doo movie they remade?
I know.
He's in that.
Yeah. But what was it? What's his? Who's his owner?
Blue Falcon.
Yeah, Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt. I would love that as well.
They're we've talked about it before. They're a part of the Bat family in a way in DC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In a weird way.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I guess I associate them with Plastic Man because it came on about the same time on Saturday mornings.
Well,
they are in the same little group, right? Back then, it was hard to tell the difference between these weird groups that you had. So you had Blue Falcon, you had Plastic Man, then you had the Mighty Heroes. Do you remember Mighty Heroes? Baby Man and Bird Man and all that?
I remember.
Cuckoo Man.
Oh, no. I remember Bird Man, but not.
That's a different one.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you had Baby Man. He was a big baby who wielded a baby bottle. He would knock people on the head with it and hit them with his diaper and stuff.
That is strange.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a great cartoon though. But that was about the same time as like Wacky Races and all that stuff. You know Wacky Races, right?
I do know, yes.
Muttley,
Wacky Racers.
Muttley and
oh, heck yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Plastic Man's kind of a pervert now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. He pretended to be this woman's dress at one point in time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure in that, what was that weird Batman, I'm trying to remember, like Superman comic I read. Was it when I did, was it the Red Sun? No. Oh no, All-Star Batman and Robin.
All-Star.
Where they're talking about
makes way more sense.
It does. Remember where they painted themselves yellow and Batman beat the piss out of Robin? It was just a terrible.
Yeah.
I'm the GD Batman was his favorite line.
That's right.
I've forgotten that. Like, yeah, Plastic Man's kind of just he oogles Wonder Woman the whole time. That's all he does.
He's just such an anti-hero with his goofy goggles and all that stuff.
Are you caught up on Peacemaker?
I am one episode behind.
Okay.
I just finished the first part of the last season of Ozark this morning.
I got you. Well, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make one quote, and now that you've seen it, I can go ahead and do that.
Yes.
Where he's speaking to the school.
Yes.
Because I just love bringing up how much they diss all the other characters.
Yeah.
Where he's like, have you ever met the Flash? Yes, once. And just like everybody else who meets him will tell you, he's an incredible douche. Next question. Have you met Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
No, not met her per se, but I did catch her eyes across, see her across the room one time, and she was totally IFing me.
She was IFing me. He goes, Peacemaker. And he goes, I said effing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think mine was where he goes.
I just love the fact that he calls all the kids different names.
Yes.
He goes.
The Flash one, what was reverse gender
Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah. Oh man!
And like some of them didn't even make any sense when you see the kid.
Sad eyes. That's
Sad
what he called
eyes. And then the girl thinks he's her dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show.
No, the thing that I wanted to bring up that just remind me of with all this talk is where he goes, and that's how I defeated Kite Man with my two hands, my Desert Eagle, and a rocket launcher.
just a rocket launcher.
And that kid, he goes, you said that the black diamond or whatever it is weighed 30 pounds, and that Kite Man was escaping on a kite. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wouldn't he just been defeated by gravity? No.
It just moves on. That's right.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good stuff. One of my other favorite quotes from one that I watched recently, and I think it's the episode before that, is when Vigilante says, it was really sweet how he wanted that man and that monkey to be friends. Talking about the PowerPoint.
Yes.
It was really sweet.
I still love that. Wait, they can go through your butt? I think whoever
It's
was
an
making,
orifice.
Yeah, I think whoever was making the PowerPoint just got a little excited.
Yeah, Peacemaker's great. It does make me want more though.
It does, and then every time it transitions and it has like the fire and the sound effects,
Yeah.
Peacemaker just looks at him and basically, "You suck." People are
Sucks.
laughing at this.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great. All right.
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's all we have for this week.
Watch Peacemaker.
I watch Peacemaker, catch up on Ozarks like Mike is doing.
Real quick,
Yeah,
Ozark aside here, it's a fine show.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh my God, it is a very fine show. It's really well made. There's very few leaps of faith you have to take.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so well acted.
Oh, for sure.
And what's her face, Little Orphan Annie? There, she is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a huge career ahead of her, but I don't know how she ever does anything other than this character. Anyway,
yeah.
It's a really great show.
No,
Great show.
sometimes you have to wonder when they're so great. It was kind of like with Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he was
I
so
can't
good.
see him as anything else, even on like Westworld or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, he goes and he has a career and he's good in that
Yeah.
stuff. But I will always think a little bit of Jesse Pinkman.
Well, and I
Which-
think anybody that's played Spider-Man is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tobey
Tobey Maguire, it doesn't matter what he's going to be in. He'll always be thought of that. Same with Andrew Garfield.
Maguire will always be upside down, kissing in an alley.
The only Spider-Man that shot from his actual wrist.
It's true. It's true. God bless him.
Well, then, if that's the case, if they made a Spider-Man Reign, he would have to play the Spider-Man.
It's true.
Because the other two have like...
Right. They would have to have some sort of
So
amplification.
I'm going to start this right now. You can put it on Reddit wherever you need to. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man has radioactive semen.
I guess he does, though. He would have to.
So Spider-Man Reign can happen in the Sam Raimi verse.
Huh.
He'll just basically have killed Kirsten Dunst.
Why don't all our heroes die while we still love them? I don't.
All right, that's a perfect place to end. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Bros, Foes, Heroes. Feel free to email us, brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com. Also follow Rogue Media Network as well. Anything coming down the pipe?
Rogue Media Network. Yeah, we got a bunch of shows. There's over 75 on the network.
Go check them out. A lot of great shows. I get the pleasure of, when I show up a little bit early, of watching some of these people record and just seeing how passionate they are about it. There's just a lot of great stuff there on Rogue that you would benefit from checking out. So until next time, thanks for listening as always, and I will bring something. We'll do something a little more ridiculous next week. This was a serious ridiculous, but I'll try to do back to the funny ridiculous.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Who
I
didn't
will
want to know that about Spider-Man?
I will tell you this, though. I went into this not knowing that.
Yeah.
And I came out a better person for it, I think. Well, at least I know more.
You know more. Yeah. We'll stick with that. Hey,
I think knowledge is power.
listen to us. You'll know more.
That's right.
There we go. That's our tagline. So until next time, everybody, stay safe.
Got it, God!
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.